red light district where we can lay low. But my hands are all messed up, so you better drive, brother.
Check. Okay, we got sound. Okay. Live from the underground.
How does Loud Ricardo do it?
He takes a long sip of his drink first.
Alright.
Let's do this. Okay, well maybe I'll turn it.
Turn it down a bit.
I think we're just talking loud.
Could be.
It's hard to say. It doesn't really have.
You can tell by the decibels, right?
Yeah. Okay, dude. So, let's put... I'm going to start every podcast like this, I think. Yep. So, let's put the value right up front.
All right.
Because...
You got to do the shout-outs?
No, we don't.
Smash that like button?
No, fuck all that. You do that at the end if they made it, man.
I mean...
Because if they made it to the end, it's like, alright.
Yeah, true.
Then you could at least drop us a like or something, right? But right now, what I want to do is, I call this podcast The Defense Against the Dark Arts. So what does that mean? So first thing I'm going to do is we're going to tell people how to protect themselves online by stopping people tracking your internet decisions. And I think an important thing to do would be... Light that fucking joint, brother.
I was waiting for you to say something. I was like, shit, nigga, damn.
But another thing to do would be how people can stop themselves from being censored. Because one thing I know is that if anybody talks more shit online, it's definitely you. I mean, you talk the most shit online of anybody that I know.
Right here.
Well, I mean, people
Let's
say
get
it's
off the
talking
street
shit,
and
but I
find
just
a
say it's
change of
talking truth. But, you know, come see, come saw.
True that. I'm not hating. I'm just stating. But you know, like if I've ever talked to anybody, any of my friends about, you know, so people just bring you up. They're like, that fucking guy Justin.
I know this guy. He's connected.
Exactly. It's like that guy Justin. He's always fucking.
Come on, let's head over.
He's always got something to say online. And so I want to hear what you have to say about this. The main thing that people say about you is that you're spreading misinformation. What do you have to say about that?
Well, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. If they feel that it's misinformation, cool. But
come a little closer to the mic.
I don't believe in misinformation. To me, is a very vague and broad term because I mean, someone can say that the fucking sky is green and it's blue and it's misinformation. Right? I look at the source. I go to the source. I bring the information to the people that need to hear it.
Well, that's the same thing that they said about Joe Rogan. So what they were saying, and actually it was proven to be true, that Joe Rogan was saying some things about vaccines that wasn't 100% correct.
For example?
So the main thing that Joe Rogan talked about, I think he was on the episode with Josh Zepps. He's the Australian. He's good friends with Joe Rogan.
Okay.
He's like a businessman and stuff. But Josh Zepps was talking about how the vaccine actually does help people who have Omicron.
Okay.
So Joe Rogan was saying that that the vaccine doesn't protect you at all from Omicron, but actually the vaccine does have some protection against it. And it was proven. But Joe Rogan backtracked it a little bit. But I mean, you know, some of the things he says about, you know, it isn't 100% mainstream stuff, and that's what people get mad about. You know, for instance, his hesitancy to get vaccinated because, I mean, it doesn't 100% protect anyway, and it has side effects. Myocarditis is a big thing.
Pericarditis as well, yep.
Yeah, and it's affecting people and killing some people, and it's not, and the media is completely downplaying it.
Now, the thing with him saying that it doesn't protect against
That was my
Omicron-
example of misinformation.
For sure.
That people have accused you of.
Okay. Now, the thing about that is they can say that Joe Rogan was spreading misinformation saying that the vaccines don't protect against Omicron. Well, he was right, because there's already been studies that have come out now, they've even said in the mainstream media, that no, it doesn't. That's why you have to get a booster shot, because the booster's supposed to protect you, not the vaccine itself. So, in a way, no, he wasn't. In a way, he might have divulged it in a way that wasn't adequate enough for them to understand.
Well, he doesn't have the information in front of him.
No, and
He's not sitting there reading from a textbook. It's an entertainment
exactly.
podcast.
And he is completely neutral. He doesn't claim to know everything. He questions things. That's why when he has certain people on his podcast, he just sits there and he's like,
Just sit and listen.
I don't know, but sure, let's look at that. Jamie, pull that up for me.
Yeah.
Because he always has his computer guy.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle's like hit it, fingers. He's got it. I guarantee Jamie Vernon is not a poor man.
Oh,
I'm sure he has made
absolutely not.
quite a bit of
So,
money.
now for people saying that I am spreading misinformation, well, don't get mad at me. Get mad at the source that I'm getting it from. And go talk to those people and ask them why they're spreading this.
But you got to be
quote,
accountable for the things
I mean,
that
yes,
you say
for sure,
online,
for
too.
sure, for sure. But I am just basically bringing what is out there in the open, which hasn't been either mentioned by mainstream media or has been debunked as a conspiracy theory when it comes right from the source. So when people say it's a misinformation, that's fine. Like I said, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but at least I'm doing the fucking research. I'm doing my due diligence. I'm not just sitting there listening to the mainstream media like a parrot and then saying that everything they say is true, because that's just asinine and irresponsible. I don't do that. So I'm fully aware of what I'm doing, and I'm fully prepared to take the responsibility. Absolutely. I've never said that I know everything. I'm not the be-all of knowledge. I just do what everyone else does in their life. I do my due diligence. I do my research.
Yeah, and I think the thing about Joe Rogan that people respect is that he tells the truth as he sees it, right? And unfortunately, the media doesn't do that.
Nope.
They don't. They're telling lies that they know are lies.
Yep.
And that is terrible.
And
Because
that
people
itself,
trust them.
Yep. And that in itself is misinformation.
That's a betrayal. Like if I gave you $10,000 to hold on to while I'm away at jail, and you fucked off with it, I never seen you again, that's a betrayal. But if I was walking off of a cliff, and you knowingly told me, okay, no, this way is definitely the right way, that's a betrayal too, man.
And that's misinformation.
Misinformation is terrible. It leads people astray, and they're doing it at a worldwide scale. It's not like telling a white lie.
Absolutely. And like what people see my information as, they call it misinformation, well, compared to the mainstream media, I'm Gandhi, okay? Like, I'm trying to tell y'all the truth. I'm learning at the same pace as everyone else, okay? I'm not saying that I'm Albert Einstein of information, because he was even stupid himself. He's admitted it. He's not the world's smartest man. He said, go ask Nikola Tesla. But I digress.
Everybody can, when you're looking up the mountain,
Yeah.
it's different from looking down the mountain.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, yeah, Albert Einstein was at the top of a mountain, for sure. But also, there were taller mountains out there. And it doesn't matter what mountain you're on, there's always one that's taller.
Always.
Nikola Tesla may be crazy smart, but also he was poor and had poor social skills, and it's like,
Well,
he may have looked at people with social skills like they're rich and he's poor.
Think of it this way: he was the Notre Dame of information back in the day. They looked at him like he had the hunchback, like he was the outcast.
Yeah, he had shit on his mind that we
Absolutely.
don't even know.
This
that.
man created a death ray at 6 years old. Name one person that can do that, who just wakes up one day and has the blueprints for a death ray at 6 years old. I don't know one person that I've looked at in history that has been capable of that thought.
Okay.
Right?
So
But we're getting off track. So
that being said, okay, so you're saying that if you spread information or misinformation, it's not intentional, that you're trying to help people.
yes, and I do go off sometimes, yes, because like I said, I look at like 15 things at once. I'm over here, I'm over there, and sometimes it gets tangy. But that's why I've been doing better with taking my snapshots and sending links. And if you want to go look for it yourself, go look for yourself. You don't. I don't tell. I've never told anyone in my life you have to believe everything I say. Don't. You don't have to. I never once said that. Go out and look at what I'm showing for yourself, and then come to your own conclusion. If you want to believe that it's misinformation and you want to believe the alternative, knock yourself out. Or if you want to delve deeper into what I'm trying to show you and go down the rabbit hole, then come down the rabbit hole with me. But don't sit there and call me crazy. Don't call me names like a child, because you just sound like the crazy leftist on the fucking media that tells it to everybody. Because as soon as you question the narrative, you're a white supremacist, you're a misogynist, you're a racist, you're all these things. You're a Nazi. Okay, well, if I'm a Nazi, then I'll wear that star proudly, because I just will never bend to the will of the government and listen to what they have to say.
Word. So yeah, if you talk so much shit, so this is the value we can provide to everybody else. Is there's other platforms that you can go on besides Facebook.
Yes.
And we should get you signed up for those.
The only reason why I stay on Facebook is because it's so fucking polluted. You see, I'm trying to drain the swamp of Facebook.
Broken window theory.
There you go.
Do you know what broken windows theory is?
I heard about it, just didn't get to look into it.
So what it is, it was about graffiti.
Mm.
So if there's a broken window in an area, then people are more likely to graffiti the wall because people think nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
And that's how ghettos come to be. It's like it started off nice, and then somebody broke a window, no one fixed it.
Yeah.
Somebody broke another window, no one fixed it. Someone graffitied the back wall, no one fixed it.
Yeah.
And then it just kept cascading, right? And you feel like that's what Facebook is.
Well, Facebook is a cesspool, and I'm drowning in this cesspool. People think that I enjoy being on Facebook. I don't. I really don't. But if I don't do it, who will?
That's true. All your friends are on Facebook, right? You're not trying to help.
I have.
So that's the problem with being on things like Rumble,
Yes.
or things like that, is that none of your friends are on it.
Some of them, yes, but the majority of my followers are on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because that's where I started,
Yeah.
right? I didn't branch off to other areas. Like, I tried MeWe. Meh. I tried Reddit. Reddit can suck my ass. Sorry, Reddit.
Yeah. I like Reddit. What's wrong with Reddit?
Too much biased. Way too. It's just.
Well, it depends on the pages that you post on.
It's oozing with bullshit.
Yeah, you do the political shit though. I do hip hop, so
Difference, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes my political stance will morph into hip hop because of the disgusting nature of the music industry. So
Yeah,
I will bring that up.
it feels like every institution is disgusting in some way or
when a bunch of Jewish people decided to come along and say, how can we exploit black people in the world? They said, oh, boom, got it, hip-hop.
Ooh, anti-Semitic.
Well,
They need to chill.
They can take it as they want. I'm just truthful.
That's hearsay, my friend.
That's hearsay, sure, whatever. Okay, so a group of guys, people, a think tank, decided to come together and say, how can we fuck a small minority of people over? And they said, oh, we'll create music.
Agreed.
So they did it.
I agree with you, and you know,
So
that's the way it is with everything, man. It's
Absolutely.
the people with the money.
Yep.
The people with the money are the ones who are exploiting everybody else. Oh, I leave this door open so that the echoes aren't as...
Oh, sorry, my bad. I didn't know if that was, that's why I closed. I didn't know if you wanted the acoustics.
No, I like the acoustics, actually. It actually does sound a little lighter when you open the door.
Fair enough.
When you close it, it sounds a little more tinny.
Fair enough.
But I gotta get some more sound foam shit in here and actually turn this into an actual studio. But I don't want to have that all over my walls.
I know, but I'm just saying.
It's like, okay, just because we've seen that in fucking Hustle and Flow, it doesn't mean I want to decor my house with fucking, with fucking cardboard all over my walls. It's like, no, this is not a professional sound studio. But I know where you can order that shit on Amazon, and it's not crazy expensive. It is a little expensive, but it's not crazy expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I digress.
But anyway, so yeah.
The
whole thing of, like, I understand, like, I get it, I believe you.
But the problem I think I have with just talking to your friends is that, I mean, you can never be successful that way.
You're the funny thing about that you say that though is I don't just talk to my friends. Everything I post is to the public.
That's true. You do have like
So I'll get
basically
random,
like 5,000 people on your Facebook, right?
So I'll get like random people who will message me like privately
that you don't even know. You just follow.
That I have no idea. They follow me. I follow them. Who cares? Whatever, right?
I'm not gonna be on Front Street though. Like every hot girl that like sends me random like friend requests, I'll go mutual friends. You're always always the mutual friend.
Because I like to expose the bots. Because I want to see if they're real. Like, catfishing is a real thing.
They're definitely, dude.
That's a catfish.
The only friend requests I get now are fake hot female bot accounts on Facebook.
Well, that's 1,000% some fat old dude sitting in his basement jerking
It's
his yank and saying,
disgusting.
just get it.
The worst part about it is every single one of those girls' pictures on there was stolen from a real person.
Absolutely. And you know what? You'd think that these people would have a way to be able to sue these
And
assholes
that's
for doing
why
it.
I want to teach people how to protect themselves online.
And that's a good thing. Yes, absolutely.
So the first thing we should do for you is get you signed up with an encrypted email account. And then you can use, so the encrypted email that I talked about it on the last video, it's called Proton Mail.
Okay.
So Proton Mail is based out of Switzerland.
Okay.
And
That's where all the information's at anyways.
And it's encrypted, so no one can break into it. But if you don't know your password, you're fucked. Right? So that's the main thing. So protonmail.com.
Okay.
And then you can do your free account or you can do a plus account, which is €4 a month. So it's actually
That's pretty cheap.
decently cheap.
That's like what, $10 a month?
Yeah, and it gives you extra storage. You don't really need that though.
No.
Because I just used mine for crypto so far. But I figure you should use yours for starting new platforms, such as Rumble, Parler. Dude, if you want to do a podcast, you should do video form, but then post it on BitChute instead of YouTube.
I was thinking about that, actually.
Dude, because like BitChute is perfect for you. And you could say unlimited foul shit and nobody will fucking you could you've already been anti-Semitic one time.
Well, you know, call it what you will, but you know, I think we're all Jewish in a sense.
You know, I'm just saying.
But I hear you, yeah. But I don't mean to be, I'm just saying, you know, that's, unfortunately, that's the category of people that are involved in it, so I mean, that's what it is.
But I'm saying you could say unlimited of whatever you want.
Yeah.
And no one can take you down.
But I'm even thinking about dialing it down a bit myself. If I wanted to be vulgar or worse than Joe Rogan or I mean, I can go for tilts. Old dirty bastard, like I.
So all you need is the free plan for Proton Mail to start. It gives you, I think it's 500. So is that? So free gives you 500 megabyte storage. That's not very.
That's nothing. I go through that in like 5 minutes.
Not even a gig, yeah.
I go through that in
150 messages per day and limited support. You're not going to be using the support anyway for Proton Mail because no one can help you if you lose your password, right? Yeah, because this is encrypted. They're going to be like, well, what do you want us to do?
Yeah.
Right? So you just come up with a crazy password, and it's like, we're not going to be able to save you anyway. So
I got just the thing for you.
Come up with a username.
Alright, let's see here.
And you can do your thing.
Yeah.
I can take over for a minute here. So I still got water here.
Sort of knock it over.
So I think one reason to have an encrypted email account is because I'm tired of being watched online. If you have a Gmail, 100% certainly. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. No one will have that either. So that's good. That's yours. But if you're on Gmail, 100% somebody's watching everything that you do.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Google is watching everything that everybody does.
Big Brother's enemy.
They want to say that they're doing that because to send you ads, which Google is the biggest advertiser in the world.
Absolutely.
Bigger, I think, by like 3 times bigger than the next closest, which is crazy.
Well, Yahoo hasn't even matched what Google's done.
Yeah, well, there's actual advertising firms that are actually really out there to advertise to you, and there's still nothing compared to Google.
Well, remember, we've been told a long time ago that Big Brother was always planning to take our information, sell it to a third party, and give you advertisements to keep you numb. Because they're going to make you buy things you don't need
it's
with
the
money that you
combination
don't have.
of 1984 and Brave New World, both at the same time.
A little bit of Animal House.
Yeah, so to say, George Orwell was right or Aldous Huxley was right.
They were both right.
They were both right.
Different time frames.
It was like 2 lenses that plug into your 3D glasses.
Absolutely.
They blend together.
Yes.
Right? So one was saying that, okay, they're going to censor everything.
Yep.
And that you won't be able to see anything, and that was 1984. And he was 100% right. One was saying that you're not going to want to read anyway because we're so busy pursuing pleasure that we don't give a fuck. And he was right also. And I think that's the thing about every debate that has ever been, is that in most debates, both people are right.
In their own way.
In their own way.
But see, when people say
because they're going to focus on different things. I mean, there's 1,000 things in this room that you could focus on at any given moment.
Absolutely.
And they both exist. The totality of the world and your vision within you, which you see, your frame, which you see it, that's such a small, infinitesimal part of the world than what actually exists. And that's the problem, is they expect everybody to be able to see the entire picture.
Well,
otherwise they will discredit everything that you have to say.
Perspective is key.
Yeah. And some people just have this perspective that's above others.
Yeah.
I mean, in the time of the civil rights movement, Martin Luther King had the perspective. In the time of freedom of India, the Mahatma Gandhi had the perspective. He was able to lead a whole group of people to freedom. And
it also shows you that people are looking for a savior. And they don't want to save themselves.
Yeah.
Because they always look to an idol. Someone much bigger than them, someone that will speak more than they can, or aren't afraid to say things that they can't say.
And even those guys were hated in their time.
Absolutely.
Those guys were hated probably by the majority.
Absolutely.
And that's wild to think about.
JFK wanted to take down the system.
Or they were hated by a very powerful minority.
Yes.
And loved by a silent majority.
Absolutely.
That's a crazy way to think about it.
That's perspective.
Oh, and you can have one of these books to write down. I use this for my passwords.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have any of my passwords. That's another thing people can take with them, is write down all your passwords and don't post them in any online note-taking apps, like Samsung Notes or Evernote or OneNote.
Yeah.
Or even in another email. And when I put mine on, I didn't put a recovery email.
Or remind this.
Yeah, so it's like if you lose the password, you lose it.
Yeah.
Right. So I didn't put a recovery email, so that that's it. There's no back door into it.
Yeah, believe me, I've made that mistake.
Yeah, this is a black hole that you're posting into, but luckily the black hole is also a conduit to these very powerful things that are around it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the first line of defense, is to get an encrypted email. I mean, technically you don't even have to put a number.
No, but I don't know.
If you're the original, I mean, I doubt that many people are using Proton email.
True.
And then just create a password and then write it down.
Oh.
This is a good pen right here if you need.
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna have to do that because I'll fucking forget. Because I already have I'm not even going to say it on here. We'll just not get into that part of
And
passwords.
see, so as we're doing this, you see this Brave swap thing?
Yeah.
That says here, so I'm getting ads that are paying me cryptocurrency as we're just sitting here and talking. So it may not be that much. It probably equates to, each one is 0.01 back tokens.
Okay.
So one, is that even 1%? Yeah, that's 1% of a back token every couple of minutes.
Talking about looking at shit in the room and doing what you gotta do, right?
Oh, you saw something based off
Oh,
of...
you fucking know it, Chief.
Sweet.
Know it.
Awesome. And you can always change it later, too.
I don't know.
And, you know, for a great thing for people to do is restart all of your emails and, you know, redo your friends' accounts and, you know, your social media stuff.
Yeah.
And get off of browsers that are stealing your information. Namely, Google Chrome is terrible. And Yahoo Mail is probably the same. Probably less bad because...
So then,
no, you don't have to. You don't have to save yours online. Because mine is.
And then what about this recovery? We just talked about that.
You can put your another email if you want. You can put an email address in case you lose yours. Yeah, if you want to, that's fine. I didn't do mine. I thought, fuck it. If I lose mine, I lose it. You know, which would suck if I lost mine and it had my crypto account on it. But there's no way I'm gonna forget it. Like the way I wrote it down is not only is it coded, but I use rap lyrics in mine. So there's no way. So I know the lyrics in my head because you know me, I'm a lyrics fucking
Control 2. Control 2.
What
There's
is
no Control 2. Oh!
Why is it
It's not
doing
alt.
that?
It-
Oh,
yeah.
it's because it won't let you do.
Oh my god.
That's fucking weird. What
I don't
the
want
fuck?
it then. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. If I can't do it, I don't want it because that's stupid. That makes me look. Hold on. You know what? Let's go Control 2. Nope, it doesn't work. I don't want it. Okay.
Why is it doing
I
that?
have no idea.
So that's something wrong with my computer. Actually,
I don't know.
you have the caps lock on.
Nope. It should be Control 2.
You
That's
have-
for add. Right?
There's another one. Oh yeah, I'm watching Training Day in the background. Well, I mean, it's up to you, right?
Well, if I can't do it with the rest of my email, there's no point. I have my password. I got the thing.
Well, you don't need to put a recovery.
That's what I'm
email
saying.
in.
So if I don't need to, that's good. So I'll just skip the bitch. Skip it. You do not.
Yeah. So a good idea is for everybody to just redo everything.
Yeah. This will be my first one where it has nothing. To
Yeah,
do with
and protect yourself now because, I mean, Google and Facebook stealing information was able to get Donald Trump to be president. And for most people, I know you like Donald Trump.
No, I'm just saying that's an interesting correlation because I would never.
You never seen that documentary, The Great Hack?
No, because to think that because of Facebook, Donald Trump became president, that's kind of that's a little much for me to.
Google, it's proven. Google's search engine results have changed presidential.
I know that.
Presidential
But
runs now.
that's also why Mark Zuckerberg was questioned in the Senate and actually charged because of the fact that he was influencing political overturns.
Yeah. So, but it's not like they stopped. They continue doing that.
Same with Joe Biden.
Yeah. So if you redo your email and you redo your social medias under that email, it's one layer of defense. And then using browsers where they can't track you is the next layer of defense. Because, I mean, they're targeting you with ads that are affecting the way you're doing things, but more insidiously, they're recording everything that you do.
Yeah, I'm not.
So they're listening to your voice, and that's bullshit to me.
You know what?
They're turning on your camera and watching.
Yeah, even when your phone's off and you think it's off, they're still recording.
It's not off. They're still recording you.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're recording your location every day.
Yeah, Edward Snowden taught me that one.
Yeah. What you want your display name to be?
Just write it down.
That seems good enough.
Yeah, that's what I want.
And you, like I said, you can always choose. You can always change it later. I'm putting you on carbon because carbon looks good. That's the display option.
Yep.
And we're good.
Anyways,
so your Proton Mail is set up, and it literally took no time to do. And so with Proton Mail, you can now sign up for things like Parler, BitChute, Minds, and Rumble, which I think you should sign up for all of those and get started on them, because the other ones aren't going to let you have a platform.
No.
And that's a big problem nowadays. Is what good is freedom of speech if somebody can clearly, with enough power, just clearly sidestep all that?
Absolutely.
And I think freedom of speech is one of the most important ideas in Western society.
That's why, even though they're Masons, they fought for it, and the four founding fathers of America said no.
And technically, we don't have freedom of speech in Canada.
We have privilege. We have freedom of expression. That's what we have here. That's the only thing we got in Canada is freedom of expression.
What's the difference?
Thank you. Thank you. I've been telling people this. I'm like, so what's the difference? Because speech is an expression. So, what's the difference? Is that just a cute Canadian way of saying we have freedom of speech, or we're just going to call it freedom of expression?
I don't know.
Right.
Do we even have that? Because I heard we don't have any rule
No, we do.
that's like that.
No, we do. But the left and the fringe crazies have been trying to remove that from Western culture for far too long.
Weird. Okay, so let's see what they have to say. I don't know what I'm looking at. I just looked up freedom of expression.
Put freedom of expression Canada.
Canada is much smarter to do. Oops.
Canadian Charter. Oh, I guess it just Canada. Where is it? This is Canadian.
Can't type very well lately. Freedom of expression in Canada. So, freedom of expression in Canada is protected as a fundamental freedom by Section 2 of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. So, it also permits the government to enforce reasonable limits.
Quote unquote.
Hate speech, obscenity, and defamation are common categories of restricted speech in Canada. So, we do have restricted speech.
Though you can tell a cop to go fuck himself and it's still good, so it's kind of a jaded.
Wouldn't that be considered hate speech or it's obscenity?
It would be an obscenity, but you can't be charged for it.
Well, that's good.
Technically, it's not a law.
But they'll just tackle you to the fuck
Oh, yeah,
and put their knee in the middle of your back.
They'll say you were,
which I have had happen to me before.
Yeah, they'll say you're assaulting a police officer, whether verbally or physically.
So, reasonable limits. Freedom of expression in Canada is not absolute. Section 1 of the Charter allows the government to pass laws that limit free expression so long as the limits are reasonable and can be justified in a free and democratic society.
Yeah.
So hate speech, which refers to the advocacy and incitement of genocide or violence against a particular defined racial, ethnic, gender, sexual, religious, or other identifiable group. And obscenity, a broad term referring to, among other things, literature that is unreasonable, which seems like bullshit to me. Dangerous or intensely inappropriate to society at large, such as child pornography, granted, should be blocked, or fraudulent medication to limit sexual virility. That's just an example. I'm sure any kind of fraudulent medication that's being promoted is probably... Okay, so that makes sense. So those are reasonable limits to freedom of speech.
The only place that is restricted, as it says in the province of Quebec, freedom of expression is restricted in the interest of protecting the French language, which is whatever. Outdoor commercial signage may only use English text if it is half the size of the French text under the Charter of the French language. Our businesses...
That's how you know you're a minority.
Yeah. Right?
When you have to enact policies to keep your culture from dying, that means you're a minority.
Fringe.
Which is kind of crazy that when you think of minorities, when you normally hear that phrase.
Ethnic minorities.
Right?
Yes.
So it's funny and interesting how we can put laws to stop French people from dying.
Screw the rest of the West.
Screw the rest of everybody else,
so,
right?
Now here's another beautiful thing. Syntax. You ever heard of it?
Mm-hmm.
Syntax language?
Want to pass that ice?
Pass that ice. So if you've heard of syntax language, you could literally take documents from the government here in Canada and know that they're all fraudulent. We have been operating under de facto government for the last 89 years.
Uh-oh, here we go. Okay.
So de facto, you can look it up, illegal, or we'll just say illegal. We'll just wrap it up to illegal, because that's what it is. They've been illegally detaining Canadians because getting into syntax is a whole thing. That's another podcast. We'll get into that. But just the language of syntax in our documents in Canada, you would know 100% that they're just plain words. It's word salad.
How's your drink?
Is that a good response?
No, that's not a good response. You need to fill that motherfucker back up.
You know what I mean? So I'm starting to learn about syntax because I want to know the fraudulent
like
aspect.
legalese.
Like legalese, yes, right? Like nouns and pronouns.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
because,
the way you state things.
Yes.
That's interesting. Okay.
Like Justin hyphen colon Lundgren, right?
That's
like
one
that.
thing people can do to protect themselves is learn the law. Like when I was homeless, they were giving out these pamphlets at the homeless shelter where they give out the food at the Hope Mission.
Mm-hmm.
They were giving out these pamphlets on like different laws, and it's interesting how homeless people should educate themselves about certain laws.
Homeless people should know more laws than we do.
Yeah, well they do, because the thing is they're giving out these pamphlets to people, educating about certain things that they're going to come into conflict with, that most people don't. Cheers, boy. Because yeah, I mean, it just sucks that the people at the bottom of the totem pole are coming up against more bullshit than the people at the top.
Well, the one thing that Canadians and most people in general, we'll just put Canadians now, since we must keep it local, Canadians have lost the notion in their mind that we are in charge of this country, not the people that we put in charge. So that becomes with this country. Once people understand that we hold the power in this country versus the elites, the fact is we hold the power in this country. But the more that they keep kissing ass to the people they think we should be listening to, these quote-unquote public health officials and these politicians, it's no, I'm sorry. Because how do you know when a politician's lying?
True.
Same way as a medical profession, quote-unquote. We have unelected officials telling us what to do in this country. That is what I'm trying to say.
Interesting. So, let's steer this back on topic now. So, the topic is defense against the dark arts. So far, I've told people to change their browser. The best browser, in my opinion, is Brave. Brave doesn't track the information that you use, and you can earn crypto for using it by turning on your Brave wallet and using Brave Rewards. So they send you ads, but it's ads that earn you crypto, and it's usually crypto stuff that they send you. And yeah, you just earn for browsing regularly, and it's not very much, but it's an incentive to use your browser, and it doesn't track you, doesn't turn on your camera or your microphone without your permission. Another good one to use is Opera. Opera comes with a built-in VPN.
Okay.
And VPNs are very important to keeping yourself private. So what a VPN is and do you have one?
I used to. I just I have to pay for it again. To get it back.
So what it is it takes your IP address and reroutes to whatever information you put out, reroutes to a different random IP address out somewhere else, so that the website is reading IP addresses from places that aren't tracked, the same way Canada is. And so you could basically access, say that's what main thing people use VPNs for, is to access the American Netflix, because your IP address limits you to a region.
Yeah.
But if you sign up through a VPN, there's no region associated. You put it in whatever region you want, and you'll be able to access Netflix from that area. So, which is very cool. But I mean, if that's the implication that it has to do with just that, I mean, imagine what you could do everywhere else. Right? You can post to BitChute, Minds, Rumble, these other alternative sites, and no one will be able to know who you are. So you could be an anonymous figure online. And that opens up to a lot of crime that someone's able to do, but also protects you from the people trying to get at you online as well.
And then another thing too is now people who do this have to be careful, because the dark web is still there. And believe you me, the dark web is very capable of hacking anything.
Yeah.
Right? So there's ways that you have to...
And that's why I call it defense against the dark arts.
Yes, which is good.
Is that the dark arts the dark arts are constantly coming for you. And it's like you need to, instead of burying your head in the sand, you need to be able to protect yourself. And step one is making yourself more anonymous online. You'll never be completely anonymous.
Yeah.
There will always be a little bit of a trail, but making yourself a little bit more under the radar.
Yeah.
I mean, how many watch lists do you think you're on? Like, for real. The amount of shit you said online?
If I can guess, I'm surprised the FBI has knocked on my door.
Well, you're not a criminal, right? So there's no...
I'm a virtual criminal. I'm not an actual criminal.
Why? What do you do online as virtual?
With all the stuff that I've been saying, people have been locked up for less than what I say.
But we don't live in that type of country, luckily.
Thankfully. Yet. But
true, it might be coming. You never know.
But I mean, I've had people tell me, I've had even my mom say, you should be careful what you post, because, next thing you know, someone will come knocking on your door and you go missing.
And what I'm saying is that you don't have to be careful.
And that's what
I'm saying that you can post these things right now, and that Facebook and their fucking censorship is only going to get worse. YouTube's censorship is only going to get worse. Instagram's censorship is only going to get worse.
Same with Twitter.
Twitter's censorship might be at the peak of anything right now. And all these things... No, Facebook is probably worse, I would say.
Absolutely.
And having alternatives to that is important.
Oh, for sure. But that's why I like pissing off Mark Zuckerberg, because... Like I said, if I don't, who will? I have friends on my page, or pages rather, that do the exact same thing as me. I'm not the only one that's...
You want to roll another one?
Sure. I'm not the one that speaks what I speak. Believe me. That's why I have a few followers. Right? And again, I do it because I'm the guy who likes to go against the grain. And I'm I'll go against it as much as I can.
I definitely don't really see much of your posts anymore because I think you've been shadow banned to fuck.
Yes, like I said, because Facebook has told me that for 90 days they will make sure that anything I post is at the very bottom of your newsfeed, so it is less likely to be seen, because I gained too much of a following. When I had my pedophile catcher page, which reached over 600 people in less than a month, I grew faster than anyone that I've seen do that movement. And I didn't even do much. And this was international. I was getting people from Canada, from Australia, from the United States, you name it. Facebook didn't like it.
I think a page like that should be taken down, brother.
No,
that's inciting people. That literally falls within...
No. Exposing child pornography should never be taken down. And the fact
that falls into the hate speech laws that we talked about earlier.
I mean, yes and no. If people want to be vulgar,
it is dangerous.
Yeah, well, of course. Anything's dangerous when you're trying to expose something.
Well, here's the difference. Right? So, and I think you got to think this about this is one of the things that people will get mad at you about, is that some things are pro-social. I think telling people the truth in certain ways is pro-social, not anti-social.
Well, see, being a social conservative is very hard.
But anything that promotes...
Because people like me who are social conservative, like Derek Stone...
Well, anything that promotes anti-social behavior, which catch a predator pages does do.
Yeah.
Anything that promotes antisocial behavior is a net negative to everybody involved.
Not even that.
Including the people that you think you're trying to help.
Not even that. Pedophilia is well protected on Facebook. I know this because I've seen a bunch of pages where this is allowed. But yet, when I go to expose it, I'm the bad guy. The double standard.
But don't let yourself believe that that's the reason why they took it down.
No, that's not the reason why they took it down. They took it down because of, yes, people that are on my page, some of the things I said, absolutely, sure, whatever, I don't care. I never went into it giving a shit. But for people to say that, well, that's kind of a dangerous thing, absolutely, and I don't care. I believe that child pornography should be exposed at every level of government, every level of anything. Anybody and everybody should be screaming that shit from the rooftops.
I agree with you. If
people care so much about vaccines, imagine how much would be getting done if they cared about child trafficking and all that shit going on.
I agree with you.
It would be done. We wouldn't even hear about it anymore. But the fact is that people don't want to have that conversation because it's uncomfortable. Well, guess what? Get comfortable. Strap in. Because we're going for a ride.
Hold on, but the point I'm making is that the alternative is that they're not doing that because you may think that they're not having that conversation because it's uncomfortable for them. And probably maybe a minority of them do. And I think of anything, what's interesting is that most movements, every position is a minority. Right, so it's like the amount of people it takes to vote in somebody is something like 35% or something like that, and most of them are like 14% of the total population, 22%, and it's like there's never a 51% majority.
No.
It's a large minority that changes things, right? I don't know. I can't remember.
But anyways,
there was an important. I'm sure when I listen back to it, I'll be like, "Fuck, you should have said this." But incredibly high and drunk right now.
But I understand that believe me, I've had conversations, my dude, with people that have said, "Well, I'm not comfortable." Those kids aren't comfortable being touched, so we're having this conversation.
But that was my big problem with the Occupy movement. You remember? You remember the Occupy when it was everywhere? It was on U of A campus downtown here. You remember Occupy Wall Street?
Yeah.
So they did that, and my buddy Chad, he went to the meeting, and I was interested, so I went along with him.
Yeah.
But when I went in there, I realized that they were just interested at yelling everybody else who was in the 99%. So it was funny. So basically, it was 99% people. So it was like, you're the 1%, right? But everybody walking by, they proclaimed to be the 99%, or sorry, the 1%. So it's like you're an oppressor, and you're an oppressor, and it's like, dude, we're part of the 99%, just like you. So it's like, chill, dude. Like, I believe in the same shit as you. I just don't think you should be a lazy, dirty hippie laying in the grass and go to fucking work and stop fucking up people.
So here's a segue to that. People that you see in Starbucks, they're all pro green living and green this and green that. Sorry, and yet they're on their iPhones complaining about saving the world with a very technology that, guess what, it's not doing.
Yeah.
Right? So they virtue symbol. I hate virtue symbol.
I hate it too.
I can't stand
but there's a difference between. So, and here's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Is I'm just trying to temper your arguments a little bit.
For sure.
Because this is something that people need to pay more attention to. Because you get so much extremist. It's two extremes arguing with each other, and that's what you see on the media.
Yeah.
When people in real life are never extreme. You're not an extremist.
I may be viewed as one.
Yeah, I'm technically a lefty. But I don't agree with the way they do things, right?
The left and the right can always come together.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, so if you think of everybody as, as virtue signaling when they're going against what you're saying, that's something that you need to be diligent of. Is if this person is against me and they seem reasonable, maybe I should listen to what they have to say.
And vice versa, because they don't. I've tried.
but you're so busy arguing your side.
I mean,
I don't want you to lose
No.
track of that somebody else might have a valid opinion.
No,
Because like
sure.
I was saying before,
Yeah.
I don't think we recorded that. Because we usually have conversations like this anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
So we said all types of shit that people didn't even hear about. But
Yeah.
like I was saying before, in every debate, both sides are correct.
Yeah.
Because like I said before, we're all seeing the world through our own frame. I think we did record this. I don't know.
Maybe.
We're smoking copious amount of marijuana, so it's already but you only see things through your own frame. But the world is so much bigger than that.
See, now that right there, though, is a misconception of my character. Because
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that you do that. I'm saying that everybody who does information like you do has that tendency.
Okay, and for sure, absolutely. There are people that are on my side that I've listened to. I'm like, well, maybe.
And trust me, if anybody has defended you more, it's me. I've defended you the most probably out of anybody. Because we have, all of our friends are mutual. Right? So, and everybody's like, what the fuck? Tell them to stop. And I'm like, no way. Like, no way would I ever censor what somebody has to say.
Listen. I tell people who have a jaded view on most things. I don't like what you say, but I will defend your right to say it. Absolutely. You say what you gotta say. That's the freedom of speech. You say absolutely whatever you need to say, but make sure you're coming at it correct, and not just listening to some batshit crazy nonsense. Because I can't ride with that. Can't do it. I can't stand stupid people. And there's a lot of stupid people. And that may be mean to say, that may be, whatever, but the truth hurts.
I don't know. I don't think you should have that point of view.
Well, I won't say stupid. We'll put it this way. I'll reword it. I won't say stupid because that's...
I'm just saying, it straw mans your opponent. You want to think that your opponent is, a towering Goliath, not a straw man.
But what I see for the most part is the gaslighting. That's what I don't like.
But it's an easy term. Gaslighting's not an actual thing.
No, but
it's something that people put into the media.
Yeah.
Right? So it's something that it's a popular buzzword.
It is, and it caught on.
Well, yeah,
right?
it does happen, but it's not the technical term for it.
No,
I'm sure if it was the clinical term, they would observe it in much more with a fine-tooth comb. They tell everybody all the ins and outs, right?
Condescending nature.
Yeah, so it's like if you assume that everybody who's talking against you is gaslighting you,
well, I don't
right?
assume that,
Trying to mislead everybody else, which some of them are, right? But if you assume that, then that's only going to lead to trouble, right? So it's like what I'm saying is that you need to do some fucking mental gymnastics, some mental push-ups, right? And you really got to have somebody fucking spar with you, somebody who's not fucking stupid, right?
Yeah.
And maybe we could do a bunch of these and I can fucking spar back and forth for you, test your beliefs a little bit, right?
We've been doing it for over 10 years.
It has been. I've known you since 2008?
Yeah.
So, that's a long time.
And we've been having this back and forth. Yeah. You've come a long way, too. Because you used to be stubborn as a shithouse mule. Well, I'll tell you to your face. I don't care. I love you as fucking all death, but I'm going to tell you, you used to be stubborn as a motherfucker.
Well,
and you've come
I don't know. I didn't know as much back then that I do now.
And that's good.
Right? I've read a lot. You see all those books right there?
Mm-hmm. You've read those?
Dude, like I have to buy new books because I run out of reading material. Mm-hmm. And some of it I disregard, but still read it anyway.
Just to see.
But when I get to the end of it, I'm like, why did I waste my time? But then I realize any time spent reading a book is better than spent watching the fucking Kardashians.
Absolutely.
It's like, fuck, I need so much input, and that's a problem too. It's something I gotta peel back. I need so much media input into my brain. Like, you get 3,000 thoughts a day, or I think it's an hour. One of those.
Yeah.
But I need every single one of those filled with some type of information. Otherwise, I don't feel right.
Right, and that's me. I wake up and I go to sleep with these thoughts, and as soon as I get up, I'm a slave to my cell phone because that's why they call it a cell phone, because it puts your brain in prison. But anyways, I use that jail, and that's why I do my gymnastics, because I whether I disagree with it or agree with it, I need to know both sides of the coin.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be very biased, and I'll admit that. For sure, absolutely. Who the fuck can tell me I'm wrong? But now I look at it and I'm like, okay, well, let's see what this opinion is here. And then if I notice something that isn't right, I'm going to call it bullshit, as everyone should. And if you want to call that misinformation, knock yourself out.
Okay, so now that you've got yourself, an encrypted email, let's get you signed up for Parler.
I think I was with Parler, but I have to check my old email.
Well, now you've got an email that's encrypted.
Oh, so I can use. Oh, okay.
So it's way, like I'm saying, it's another layer of protection, right? And like, this browser, it blocks things, so it's like no one knows what we're signing up for right now, right? So this browser, no one's tracking it.
Where free speech thrives. That's my dwelling.
Right. So let's sign you up for Parler right now. I'm gonna sign. See, look, it's sending me ads.
Yeah.
That I get money for just looking at those ads.
Did you know that they're coming out with season 2 of that?
What? Squid Game?
No.
I just like saying that you're playing Squid Games with things. This is fun. It's like, yo, don't play Squid Game. Like, somebody, you're eating your lunch at work and somebody's like playing with some fucking, making things dusty. I'm like, yo, don't play Squid Games with my lunch. Or people are playing on crypto and they're like, yo, I'm gonna buy Dogecoin. I'm like, yo, don't play Squid Games with the rent money.
That shit to a whole other level.
This took it to a whole other level. Shit. Oh, it's asking to sign up with a mobile partner. Let's go. There you go. Enter your email you just made just now. And so, having alternatives, but also having your main, so it's like you got your Facebook. But then you've got this other thing to keep a track of the things. So it's like using your social media as a journal of sorts.
Yeah.
Right? So think about it like that. And so you put all your links on there. What is going on here? Let me unplug this.
You won't let me do the control.
Question.
It's playing fuckery. There we go. Yeah. Thanks is missing an ad. No shit, Sherlock. Thank you. Thank you, Captain.
I don't know why it's doing this.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. Yeah, I don't know.
Unplug it.
That's what she said.
Plug it back in.
That's definitely what she said.
Okay, try it. I don't know what movie's watching in there. I forget.
Scarface?
Should. Still nothing?
Tome!
What the fuck?
Le Homa.
Here, I'll figure it.
Yeah, I got rock and paper.
And you can take a break too at any time.
Yeah,
Cause
we can take a break.
where the fuck? Where the fuck's my goddamn phone? Okay, so I figured it out.
Yes.
Well, nothing yet. I gotta actually take a deeper look, but just hit Control V. What I did was I copied and pasted. See that?
Yes.
Yeah. So I just copied from a different page. I gotta figure out what's wrong with this right now. I'm gonna turn Proton. Now.
Shit, what am I doing? Stoner.
Although we should come up with a portal mail.
See, when you're stoned, you just come up with.
You just come up with accidental ideas, man.
That's how the greatest fucking ideas in history have ever been made.
ProtonMail.com.
Yeah. Where's the lot?
Let's just go sign up now. Create.
What the fuck?
Password must be at least 8 characters while using a combination of letters, numbers, and symbols.
Don't worry, it's going to be about anything. Because when you get older, you lose your mind.
It's true. You definitely do get. When you get a little older, you definitely don't have the fucking. Nope. Just hit continue. Okay.
Create my own instead.
Yeah, you literally just did that. I was like, no, Justin, why? Why, Justin? Yeah, hit continue. Hit continue. Fucking guy. Don't do it. Pass me the ice, bro.
Okay.
You need some loving, baby?
Justin, why?
I can't continue.
Somebody help!
He wants it to be strong. Fuck, now I gotta write down a parlor one. No, fucking tabernacle.
You can just use the same ones and change it later.
It wouldn't let me do it. Because you see how it's red? I just gotta turn green.
No, that's just the.
Watch, I'll show you. Watch.
See, it's just the show your password.
Okay.
So you just keep hitting create strong password instead of hitting continue.
Well, watch.
So this is a big problem for Parler, is that when you put in your password and then you hit the one that's highlighted.
Well, watch.
Oh, because you need characters and symbols. You
Yeah,
need a symbol too.
So what the fuck am I...
Just put a $ sign or something.
Yeah, you know what that's what I'll do. Yeah. S, bitch.
So yeah, main problem is he keeps hitting generate strong password after he puts in his fucking.
And I'm gonna boom, do it again.
It won't do it again?
Oh, you mother truck ass.
Really?
Yeah, what did I do?
Well, here, just go Control V then. Go Control V.
Okay, whatever. You know what? Yeah, you know what? Eat it.
Nope. What are you doing? Huh? I don't know why my computer's doing this, but I literally just switched to Windows 11 now, so it's being a fucking little bit. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, you got that. But
It won't let me continue, son.
where's that podcast?
It won't let me continue, son. Continue button is not highlighted.
Must be at least 8 characters while using a combination of
2.
letters, numbers, and symbols, which you do have.
That's what I got. What do you want? I'm confused.
I don't understand.
I have the combination of letters, numbers, and symbols. What?
It just wants you to
You
use
know
the
what?
generated
You know what?
password.
I can change it later. So
Yeah.
just write it down.
What the fuck? Like, so that's the main thing about Parler is it wants you to use their generated password instead of creating your own. It won't even let you have the option to use your password instead of their generated one. So don't waste your time. I don't even know what Parler looks like.
It's kind of like Reddit, just a little more conservative.
Reddit is ugly.
Reddit is nasty.
That's why more people don't use Reddit. It's because Reddit is an ugly looking fucking website.
So
great information. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
If the curators are good.
Yes.
But mostly fucking.
You think I'm crazy?
Mostly pretty
Reddit.
good.
You think I'm crazy?
Oh, I know.
Dude.
People are going nuts. So
Dude.
I thought that's why I thought
Dude, I'm
Reddit
not.
would be perfect for you. For some reason.
No, Reddit's way too
Stupid.
conspiracy theory for me. And that's coming
It's
from,
worse than you.
and that's coming from me. Because I'm all about but I don't like theory.
I don't understand.
I
Why are they too conspiracy theory?
They are like tinfoil hat wearing, deep in the fucking mud conspiracy theories. And I love a good conspiracy theory. I like debunking all kinds of crazy shit.
So they're actual conspiracy theorists. You're like.
I'm like
Nah.
conspiracy light compared to them. I'm diet conspiracy.
Okay, so you got this one written down?
So,
Make sure you got it 100%. Don't read it out loud.
I know, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Continue their nonsense.
Well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hit. Oh fuck! I fucking hate.
It's okay.
I hate Microsoft so bad. Here, I'm gonna take a picture of it. How about that?
Yeah, let me go ahead.
I'll take a picture of it so you 100% will not forget it. these apps are sus as fuck, bro.
Oh, apps are always suspect.
Oh,
You
man.
ever read the disclaimer of those things?
Oh, I don't want to.
Yeah, that's why.
I'm scared to read through anybody's user agreement, man. Like,
that's why people are. That's why people don't understand that the information is being sold without them even knowing, because they don't even.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to.
Like, actually, like, no one goes to do. I didn't even do.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to block people from, man. And that's what I'm saying. So it's like using Brave is step 1. Using the encrypted email, step 2. Signing up for websites that don't fucking censor you is step 3. Other than that, going beyond there, that's something everybody can do, and it's all free. Going beyond that requires some expertise that I don't have yet.
And did you?
But I will have that expertise.
Fun fact: did you know that when Facebook first started, people were being told that they would have to pay $13.99 a month for the service, which would guarantee that your information would not be sold to third parties? And people said, "Oh hell no!" So guess what happened? Every person that's ever signed up for Facebook, I can guarantee you 90% to 99.99% of people who never read the disclaimer and just said click, 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 and started your page.
Well, Facebook is like the peak of the spear of fucking evilness right now.
Dude, that's
man.
Big Brother's third eye.
Yeah, they're doing some shit that
Like, Zuckerberg
I can't
is
get behind
scrolling
that.
the teat
Yeah.
of provocateurs such as fucking.
I can't let that one pass. That shit was funny.
But anyways, yeah, he scrolled the teat of like people like Soros and Kissinger and all these other.
I agree. So so next thing is VPNs.
Mm-hmm.
So the ones we know, the one I know, that they have huge savings.
Yeah.
So signing up for it, for NordVPN you can get up to 65% off, and Surfshark you can get up to 82% off. I'm not telling you this because I have an affiliate link. I think that everybody should just be signed up for VPNs, and it's easy to find online. I just searched best VPN, and I was able to find these, and like I already knew that these weren't the best ones anyway. But it's like everybody stopping people from looking into your computer, and as well as your antivirus. They say that fucking Apples don't need an antivirus, but
Absolutely do.
There's just none available. It's not like you're any more protected unless you take these, unless you take these different steps.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think people should be using Apples either.
No.
I mean, I think Apple has a way of getting, because like, I think that they actually legitimately program them to break. And it's not even like I feel like there is studies that have come out that show that people, that especially MacBooks, the stuff that they use is programmed to break down after like 6 to 9
Dude,
months.
people's phones on their dashboards in their cars have caught on fire. I mean, that's not.
But that was Samsung. That wasn't.
That was Apple, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure those were Apple phones.
Well, maybe the
iPhone. Because iPhone is Apple.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure it was the iPhones that were catching the fire. Because the
Yeah.
batteries or whatever they were using. But either way.
But the Apple, the iPhone and Apple stuff is so entrenched with all of these social media stuff that's stealing your information, that they're providing third-party info to these guys too. And I don't know what they're using it for, but what they're using it for isn't good. And they're not being regulated yet. And I'm sure as soon as they do, everybody, like, you're still not safe then either. Unless you take these steps. Like, I can't pummel it into people's heads anymore. It's like you need to protect your information.
You can lead a horse to water.
And we're not talking about from scammers, because also scammers can come at you, and that's a big problem because they literally want to hurt you. But it's like it's the more insidious ones that you don't know about that are already watching you. And it doesn't matter how computer illiterate you are. If you own a cell phone, they are on your ass.
Yep.
And there are cell phones out there that exist. I don't know anything about them yet, but when I do, I will report it. Is that there are cell phones out there that don't steal your information. But unfortunately, if you want to have anything fun like YouTube, or I can't help but say that Instagram is fun to have, and TikTok is fun to have. But they're sending this information back. So even if you have one of these cell phones that doesn't track you, unfortunately, if you plug in any of these things, you know, you're just going to be still watched anyway.
Well, once you plug into the Matrix, you're always watched.
Yeah. But I mean, you can have maybe a percentage of that fun on things like Parlor and other stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why we need to create things that give the exact same satisfaction as going on to.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. All right, brother. Display name.
Huh.
You're like, who am I gonna be now? Oh, what? You're gonna be Deadpool? I'm sure that's probably gonna be taken.
That's why I'm using my bird.
Okay, dude. So that's your display name. This is your username.
I'm gonna just do the same thing.
Do the same thing if you want.
Yeah, it only makes sense. We can do this the right way. Spelling is key. I am at
the
least
bank on the main drag.
last time I checked.
Why am I having trouble?
I think you have to line with me first.
Fucking. I can't hate this.
It's a good little thing.
Literally, they're all seaplanes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you were seaplanes, right?
I was like, they're all fucking planes.
It's like what? 2 seaplanes? Oh, this is great.
Each image containing a seaplane. Okay. That's why I don't fuck around.
Yeah.
Oops,
Not that one. Now I think you go to.
All units on bank base progress back to Liberty Joint.
Oh yeah, it's there. You just don't see it. Okay, so now you're on Parlor, dude. So I'll sign up for it too. Okay, you gotta go on. Yeah. So then, after you get signed up for Parlor, they will tell you. I'm just telling you something. Oh, why isn't it sent yet? Let's hit.
Power support verification.
There we go. As soon as you go on, it'll send a verification code to your email. I'll hit Control-C then. Okay. Verify, motherfucker. Boom. Parlay to the parlor. So it does look a lot like Facebook, actually.
It does.
So this is supposed to be an alternative to Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Sweet. And yeah, you can say whatever you want. It doesn't look like anybody's saying anything.
No, this partner tries to keep it a little quiet because they don't infiltrate real fast because they've learned their lesson from Gab and from other ones, right?
Yeah, those people got co-opted. That's the word. Co-opted.
Like real fast.
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 Quick fast.
Super quick.
Awesome. So how much time are we sitting on here? We're in 14. Let's see.
What do we go for?
I mean, we could go for a couple of hours. Now we can just, so now that I've gotten the value out of the way, yeah, I'm sure we can just fucking talk about whatever the fuck you want. So what is, so now, because I can do two videos, I got 2 videos, so I basically do background stuff as like GIFs, like looping GIFs, but I actually played some Grand Theft Auto 3, so I'm going to use some. So let's see how long.
Once I start getting some cash, dude, we're getting a sound. And we're going to start doing sound effects in the back.
Well, I got one. I just don't have things set up. Like I need certain other things. I need a mixer. So I wanted to start doing live streams as well.
I can get my dad because my dad has one.
What does he have? See what he has and send me pictures, man. And then we'll see if he wants to sell it or whatever. But I got ideas of stuff. We're gonna start doing live streams.
Yeah, for sure.
instead of so right now it's audio only.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna put this over me playing some Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll just that's a pretty fucking gangster ass game, to put in the background. Anti-establishment shit.
Sit there and have some laughs while you play.
And exactly. Well, also a big thing of it too is that putting it over the looping GIF, I relied too much on captions, and not enough on listening to the audio. But a part of the reason too is because I put music in the background, and it's to get rid of the shitty sound quality, which I do have in this record. This sound quality is kind of shit, but.
Well, we're in an undisclosed...
Just getting started. I mean, this is technically only the second one.
We're in an undisclosed location. So
Undisclosed location.
So that's another one we could use as a name.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
This podcast that we're doing now is basically for what I call VisionBoardPodcast.
Okay.
And it's like just putting shit up on the vision board that you want to do in the future, right? And helping people. So, I mean, I think everybody should protect themselves from fucking certain ideas and things that can affect your brain, that stop you from being yourself. You know what I'm saying?
So we're gonna get fax machines. So we're gonna probably have 2 or 3 of these back. I'll just send you a whole bunch of crazy shit. You can determine which one to run each show.
But that's what this one is. It's not necessarily conspiracy. So if you want to do your conspiracy theory thing,
no, it's going to be separate stuff. Like I want to move myself
that should be its own thing, right?
Yeah, that's going to be what's on Parler, whatever. That's there. Other stuff will be like current events, because that's what I try to stick to is what's going on in the world, what's happening, right? That's why I'm so proud of the truckers and how far it's gone. This is just the beginning. That's what I keep telling people.
So what's your take on the trucker convoy that happened? For anybody that didn't know, when did it start?
Started 3 weeks ago.
So that was approximately what date? So I could look it up here.
Let's see, yeah, because I know that they said last time I heard anything they said.
I just put in trucker convoy.
Yeah. Oops. Jesus, I have to spell.
So yeah, they started. All the truckers had travel restrictions put on them if they weren't vaccinated, which they found that to be crazy, which I think that's crazy too, and it's against the Charter of Rights and Freedoms to restrict people from traveling. It's like you're allowed to, and actually they're bringing a case against them. So it says here, the fundraiser is started in January 14th.
Oh, they're starting another one?
So what does it say? The so-called Freedom Convoy protest paralyzed Ottawa for days. So the GoFundMe was started on January 14th, which it's now February 13th, so almost a full month. And yeah, these truckers blocked the border and stopped people from crossing in some of the most major veins between Canada and U.S. border. And they went to Ottawa to protest because vaccine mandates and travel restrictions is against the Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
And there's no science behind it, and they've proven it already.
Yeah, and a lot of these people were vaccinated too, so it's not like they were anti-vaxxers like people want to paint them. It's like, no, we're fully vaccinated. We just don't want to be restricted every time we do things, especially because we followed what you said to be correct. And so why should we be punished for that? I mean, truckers make the most amount of money into the economy than pretty much anywhere else.
There are bloodlines to this economy.
Yeah, man. Trucking is worth so much to the economy, and people don't understand.
And I mean, yeah, they say, 90% of truckers are vaccinated and they don't support what's going on, and it's a small fringe minority. No, it's not. If you look at the numbers of trucks and protesters that have went from Edmonton, Alberta, all the way to Ottawa, Ontario, I'm telling you right now, man, the number is huge. The only small fringe minority is the government trying to censor and squash what's going on right now. They are the small fringe minority.
Yeah.
That's why Justin Trudeau is a minority government, not a majority.
Word. So sticking in line with so you thought obviously you're with the truckers, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is something important I wanted to discuss with you, because with this podcast, I want to provide real value to people, like things they can actually take with them home, right? Because I find that, you know, when Joe Rogan does podcasts with his comedian friends, I don't find that one is it doesn't hold much value for me. But when he's talking to someone who is talking about diet, for example, or things you can do to sleep better, or, you know, certain plastics that are being put into our water systems and creating, you know, birth defects for people and shit like that, like that has direct value.
Absolutely.
Right? But there's ones where with his comedian friends or his MMA friends, they don't hold a lot of value except for entertainment. But I don't want to be entertained. I want to be educated.
Yes.
Because if I'm going to listen to something, I want it to mean something. Right?
Absolutely.
So that's what this podcast is about, is providing value to people. So what I wanted to ask you about is the certain, and so we got to stay on topic. I don't want you to use this as a reason to fucking hate on Trudeau or, you know, to hate on whatever the powers that be, even though they deserve to be hated on. It's like, what are the idea viruses affecting people right now? And I think what has to do with the convoy in particular is, I think one major idea virus is that people still believe what the media has to say. Full stop.
Absolutely.
I don't think anybody should listen to the news anymore. Doesn't matter what news it is.
Well, and you bring up a good point, and what I've noticed lately is that, you know, especially local media here, like they call them legacy media, which I don't like that word for them, because the only legacy that they have is bullshit. But anyways, they've lost all trust with the vast majority of the community. Nobody listens to CBC or CTV because they know that Justin Trudeau has blocked them out with $600 million. So they know that the narrative is all Trudeau.
Yeah, it seems like all media is all leftist.
Absolutely. Well, right? See, what Trudeau did is he brought everyone far left. Like, there's left, and then there's far left. Like, all
Hollywood is far left.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like Fox News is clearly right-wing.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
right?
It's becoming more center, which I like, because they do the people that I look at on Fox News are people like Greg Gutfeld, right, and the Five, right, because what he does is he has 5 people on his show that have all different views.
But I just finished saying nobody should fucking watch.
No. But that's
watch the news.
But absolutely. but you know what? Just to see what they're saying, because it is educational to a point.
Fuck that! It's all lies.
It's entertainment.
Turn off your fucking TV.
Turn it off.
Turn off the fucking TV. Fuck that.
Throw it in the water. Get rid of it.
There are real places that you can go to find real information.
This is true.
And I think those in the future will be places that don't censor you.
True. Hopefully, that's what we're aiming for, and I hope we get there. Because if
I heard about this one called Substack too.
Okay.
Let me look that up here. So I'm trying to improve myself. You know what I'm saying? And part of that, you know, is getting over the fucking societal bullshit that they give you, right? The programming that they put into your head.
That's why ever since I knew about the Hegelian dialectic, I see everything.
No tangents.
Probably reaction.
So it's a paid newsletter. So that's what Substack is. Right? So what they do is there's certain people on here. And on their Substack, you know, I don't think that Substack that they censor people.
Dude, have you watched the Olympics yet?
No.
Fucking China done tripped one of our people representing Canada. I think it was in skating. And they got called out for it. Or trying to cheat. They cheated everything. Anyways, yeah. Sorry. I just seen that and I was like, 2022 Olympics. I only caught like some of it. It's all factual.
gotta search into Substack more. This is interesting.
That's,
But it's for writing, basically. So I mean,
yeah, that's perfect.
I want to post my writing shit on
That's
here.
perfect. That's perfect.
But there is places that you can go to get real news. Breaking Points, Rebel Media or something like that.
North, Rebel Media, Angry Canadian, though not too many people like them, and I understand why. It's a little on edge, but still good news to do nonetheless. Man, there's so much.
There's so much more to do, and I mean, fuck. I'm gonna learn more about this because we didn't really plan this very much. I kind of had an idea of what we wanted to talk about.
That's why
Yeah, you don't need talking points. Fuck talking points. We just talk, you know.
that's the point.
But there's alternatives that you can view that will put these bullshit people out of business, man. Like I hope that Facebook has taken a dip in so many things, like how much money they make and how much people use them, what legitimacy they have. Because I mean, that stuff it's proven that he's a part of the fucking problem.
Facebook lost 9 viewership funding in the last year, 2 years. I think this the beautiful thing about what's going on right now is it's opening
Good, and I hope it does. I hope it opens everybody's eyes.
It does.
But everything is bullshit. So what other idea viruses besides? So don't believe in media.
Yeah.
Don't believe in social media. What other idea viruses are out there that you'd like people to steer away from? So this is something I wanted to talk about with you in particular because this was Gad Sad. He said it. He calls it an idea pathogen.
Okay.
And you know, there's certain ideas out there. You know, I think a big problem from watching Jordan Peterson. He talks about how. He talks a lot about Carl Jung and Friedrich Nietzsche and stuff like that. But Carl Jung, he talks about how the big problem of the future is going to be mass hysterias, right? That are going to create these huge problems.
That's where we're at.
And that's what I'm asking about is what would you identify as a mass hysteria that you haven't necessarily fallen for?
Besides current events? I don't know. You could pull it down to 9/11. I knew that was a complete farce from the very beginning.
Okay, so I'm saying what is underneath it? So you're saying underneath it there's like
The layers of bullshit that led up to
so I'm
that.
saying like underneath that there's definitely a conspiracy happening, but we don't want to say conspiracies,
No.
right? So there's definitely something going on underneath things like 9/11,
Yes.
right?
Behind the scenes, certain actors behind certain things that people aren't aware of, which is fine because that's how they want it. So another one would be some of the issues that I could bring up are very sensitive.
Yeah, but they're all interrelated, right?
They're all
Like
interrelated.
JFK is, related to 9/11, which is related to the Iraq War.
Or the fact that the U.S. murdered Osama bin Laden for no reason because George Bush and Osama
Yeah, it's
bin
all
Laden.
related in some
All that
way.
stuff, yeah, all that stuff's related. The finding and killing of Saddam Hussein.
Yeah. Okay. So let me rephrase the question.
Yeah,
a little bit.
it's
Okay,
yeah.
can you pass me some ice? Starting to turn on the water. But I'm saying, like, so there's certain things like. I'm not talking about events. Maybe you're more of an external person than I am. I like to think about ideas. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's harder to talk about ideas because it's more abstract, like in the literal sense, right? But I'm saying, like, so don't believe the media is one idea.
Western
That you-
medicine. Another one.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Right? I'm saying like there's the belief that's driving feminism is that men and women are separate.
Okay, yeah, the wage
Right?
gap and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah. So the belief that if men succeed, then women fail.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if men and women work together, both would succeed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. There's jobs that women can do that men don't,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
So that's a hysteria. So feminism is a hysteria. Because if all men succeed and women help men to succeed, they will succeed as well. If all women succeed and men help women to succeed, everybody will. So I never want to hate on someone who's a feminist because we're in it together.
See, but then
You know what I'm saying?
But the word feminism has been bastardized.
That's true. It did. I believed in feminism when I was a
It
kid.
used to mean something.
Because it's a fucking cool thing to do, right? Like I believe in social disobedience, and that's so. These are idea viruses that people get into their head. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Maybe you want to think about it more in the future, right? But you know, it's the illusion that men and women are separate is what drives feminism. You know, they call it the patriarchy or whatever.
Yeah.
That's something that divides. You know, the more things that divide everybody, the harder it is for everyone to succeed, and that's what they want.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, whoever's driving or whatever it is behind 9/11, or whoever is behind JFK assassination, or fucking Watergate, or whatever,
Yeah.
all these things that have, or Iran-Contra,
Yeah.
you know, all these things that have been proven to happen. This isn't some fucking fairy tale.
Yeah.
It's an actual real thing that happened.
There's
You
documents about it.
documents upon documents about it, and it's like there's ideas driving that,
Or okay, for
or they're trying to divide everybody,
yeah.
and whoever's doing it from the shadows, whoever is trying to do that has an agenda. If we fall for it, then that's our own fault.
Another one would be that the left should be fighting
So-
the right, and the right should be fighting the
Yeah.
left.
So these are things that divide us, right? So keep going, man. So keep
so-
you because you're more versed at this than I am.
So the fact of, okay, for example, you're left, I'm right.
Yeah.
Okay? Yet we're sitting here having
Yeah.
a civil conversation.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if everybody did that? What would happen?
Yeah. The fact that you can't even talk to the person
We have
that you
been-
disagree with
And I
is
don't even,
another idea.
And I don't even like
virus.
calling myself right, but that's where people put it. So whatever.
Word.
I'll take it. But so, for example, now
No one's 100% right or left either.
what's the left
I
and
believe
right?
in gun
Do
rights.
you know what that is? Left and right brain. That's what you're fighting.
Yeah.
It's not left and right ideology. It's left and right brain. That's what they're doing. They're fucking mentally. That's it's always.
Well,
It's
it's
a-
interesting because I've always been more of a left brainer.
And I'm a right brain.
Yeah, so you think about it like that. A left brain is where your creativity is, your language, right? Your abstract thought, ideas. That's me to a T, right? And your right brain is your rational, right? So they're literally breaking it down into hemispheres, right? So your rational thought, your planning, your judgment, that's all your right side. But no one's ever 100% on one side of the brain.
No, you're always
or
going
on
back
the
and
other.
forth. Yeah.
Yeah, they interact with each other, and
That's
when we
the-
can't do that, fuck, that's some real shit. All right, what else? So what else we got that they say that we can't do? So, dividing us with race is another one.
And see, that's the thing too. You always hear that this. Well, it's always about color. First and foremost, last time I checked when I was a kid, white and black was a shade.
Word. It's not a color.
What color is it? Did you talk about Willis? No color. We shades over here.
Well, to be honest with you, man, I know a
So
lot
was it
about.
shadeism instead of racism?
Yeah, I know a lot about black culture more than most people. Right? Like I've been in tune with hip hop culture
Okay.
to a level that that you could know about.
Now, your level of that is my level of Egyptology.
That's interesting.
I love everything about Egypt. And I mean, dude, I have looked up the gods, the history, everything.
Let's drink to it.
And
You got a little bit of ice left.
I don't care.
There's fresh ice out there. But
But yeah, so I like I'm still looking into it, hieroglyphs, all this stuff. Like I like to look into it because that's where history more or less started, was back in Egypt days, right? Like yes,
Yeah.
there's Mesopotamia and all that stuff. Yeah.
we're getting a little off track
But
here.
anyways, yeah. So things that are separate from what we're allowed
So
to
basically, what I'm saying is things that they're using to divide people.
do. Well, that can be relegated to anything. Really.
Right? So race is a good one. Right? So your whatever, Black Lives Matter. Unfortunately, I do believe in Black Lives Matter, and I do believe that there is some problems with race in America.
Just off the Democratic view of Black Lives Matter, because if you go on the Black Lives Matter website, that shit goes right to the Democratic Party. Bang, fine.
Yeah, they've been co-opted as well. But also, like, just the fact that, you know, going beyond that and beyond the politics, the fact that people are led to believe that they're separate.
That's the biggest divide.
Right? Is that you know, black and white, you know, Black Lives Matter, and so if somebody says all lives matter,
And they're racist.
then the Black Lives Matter people are like, it ain't about you right now, motherfucker. And by the way, they're right.
To
You
a
know,
degree.
they're right.
To a degree. Everyone's been enslaved. and
But
castrated.
somebody who has a compassionate point of view might say, no, all lives do matter.
To a
Right?
degree.
It ain't about you. And they're like, no, we're having our moment. And I get it. And both sides are correct.
But then why is it every 4 years? You come out and say all Black Lives Matter. Why is
Exactly.
Why is it only
right?
every 4
If
years?
there's somebody out there pushing that, right? And so that's an idea virus that needs to go away.
Absolutely. And, okay, perfect segue to that. Okay, so you look at the freedom protest versus Black Lives Matter. Okay? Here's the divide. Black Lives Matter, when it happened, was extremely destructive. Burning buildings, destroying vehicles. It had happened. It was all over the news. It was watched. Then you look at the freedom protest. These people are feeding homeless, shoveling sidewalks, making cities clean. But yet the media is painting them out to be terrorists and white supremacists, and they're funded by white supremacists, and all this crazy shit going on. Okay, well, where was the outcry when everything was being destroyed in actual cities and buildings were being burnt? People were losing their lives, their jobs, everything. It was okay because it was a movement. But now when you have a freedom protest that is really for everybody, not just the people doing the movement, it's for all of Canada, all Canadians. Doesn't matter who you are. Yet now they're getting shit all over and they're getting called every name under the sun. To me, that's just...
I think people who believe the media of what they're saying about it, those people can't be saved.
Without being, like, what I tell people is if you want to know the truth, go to the source. Go where these protests are
That's a
happening.
good point.
Go talk to these people. Go ask them, why are they there?
And not everybody can. I mean, some people
No, absolutely not.
people have to work, you know?
For sure, absolutely. But I mean, you know, if you're really curious and they're down your street, just go out your door, say, hey, so what exactly are you guys doing this for? Right? And they'll look at you and tell you, we're doing this for you and all people standing around us. And it's not even for us, really, it's for the kids. It's for the future generation of children. We want kids to grow up in a free society, not a prison planet. And that's what we need to get. That's what it needs to be.
Yeah.
Because the future generation matters. And they're brainwashing these poor kids.
And that's a big problem too. So, and that's where we get into the next thing, and people are going to be mad at me for saying it, but them teaching kids about gender pronouns and shit in school, trying to program kids from a young age to think like this, dude, that's an idea virus in itself, man.
That's child abuse.
And like,
Like the high
okay,
school.
I'm sure there's shit that we learned about in school that was stupid,
Yeah.
but I don't think it was harmful.
We didn't act on it.
But I think this gender pronoun stuff, it could be harmful to kids
Absolutely.
to think in this way. To program people to think about somebody in terms of their otherness. You know, he, she, they,
Yeah.
she's, or like, who gives a fuck about that agent? Like,
Last
no,
time-
like, that stuff existed in the past,
Okay.
you know, and like,
So in Roman days they did this. Same thing.
I heard about that too, as soon as a society starts to fall.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
So they do this every 100 years. They always try to destroy society and shape it in their image. Every 100 years. It's happened. This has happened countless times and time. Like I said, this is an old playbook that they're doing. Those who are in the know what they're doing. Those who don't, hopefully in the future or sooner than that,
Dude,
we talk.
I just had a wild thought. Okay?
Yeah.
So, goddamn. Okay, so the good thing I'm high right now. So think about somebody passing down a tome of information from years past. Right? So they go, the natural progression of society is to, and I should make a movie about this, but So they wrote, this is society, so you recognize where you are. And they give a history of societies, and it's like, you're at this point in the progression of a society, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the book says. So they go, okay, it's been passed on from generation to generation of elites who shape and manufacture society in their image, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they say, okay, so the progression of a society is we go to war, we build our economy. Just, I don't know what the actual progression is.
Yeah.
We go to war,
Yeah.
we build our economy.
Yeah.
Then we take over all of its assets
Yeah.
by debt slaving everybody. And then when it starts to starts to hit the fan, then we turn everybody against each other, downfall the society, start a new one with the assets that we had from the old one, leave all those people in the ashes, and then we start the process all over again. And this is a tone that's been passed down from generation to generation, telling people this, and that's what we're a part of now. That is, we're a part of the end phase that they said, okay, this is the end of the society. We're calling it quits.
Yep.
Everything is bullshit. We're almost at a point of no return. Let's smash everything and start anew. And that there's somebody who gets a hold of this tone, reads through it and goes, this is what they're doing. And manufactures a way to take those motherfuckers down.
It went from Castro to Mao, Lenin, Stalin.
All the world leaders get it. And what the information do they have? Why do all the elites make these decisions? It seems like it's going to kill all of us.
Because it happened ever since World War II, Mike.
Because they got some fucking information that we don't have.
Okay, so
say they got the Mesopotamians came up with this information.
the Atlanteans, bro.
Yeah, and the same motherfuckers that's running Mesopotamia, their bloodline is the same ones that's running this motherfucker. Right? And they've all been passing down this information from generation to generation because their business isn't oil or recycling or garbage or freaking audio equipment. Their business is societies.
You with me. You got it, my dude. You got it. You got it, man.
I'm glad we got that on motherfucking tape.
You got it, my dude.
Because this is my first time ever thinking about that. It's a spontaneous, creative thought.
Yeah, no, you got it, my dude. That's exactly what it is. And and that's how these bloodlines have been surviving for so many years. Now, what people have to understand is, okay, so for example, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, not all of them have that last name. They're not stupid. They're not going to go into the world and say, hi, my name's Jacob Rothschild, or, Daniel fucking Rockefeller. They'll have different last names so they can continue this legacy going of bullshit, and they can keep confusing the masses in their image and what they want to do.
Yeah, and also as you bring people into the fold of your secret society, some other people are going to become powerful from outside.
That's why you look
right?
at
that's how new names emerge.
That's why you look at L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah, but it still has that same bloodline running through it because it's biological.
Yep. Well, look at the royal family. They don't sleep outside the family. If you think that they actually, when they get married on TV, and the sons are getting, no, man, this is all within the goddamn bloodline. Why? Because they don't want any outsiders coming in. Key example.
Yeah. But instead of getting into the weeds as far as that, it goes beyond a family lineage and goes more into an idea
for sure,
being passed on from generation to generation.
Absolutely.
And a line of wealth that never ends. Like, you think about the first person to hand somebody a piece of gold for 2 pieces of silver, hand that to somebody for 1,000 pieces of bronze, build armor with it, and there's inevitably somebody who is going to have amassed a huge amount of wealth.
Yep.
And that inevitably, the higher you go up the pyramid, the longer that wealth has been in play.
Absolutely.
And I think that first original piece of gold is still in play.
Oh, for sure.
And somebody out there who originally started acquiring wealth and understood it before everybody else is the one who amassed the most, who created the system, and they're the ones that control everything now.
You know what the largest, the most lucrative industry is in the world? Human slavery has always been.
Well, more than pharmaceuticals.
Always. Dude, think about it. Human trafficking leads to organ harvesting.
You're going down a
No.
tangent.
Look at it. Your body, each human body, this is why China does this. Each human body is worth $1 billion. It is literally the most lucrative industry.
I think you're on some Alex Jones shit right
No,
now.
bro. I'm sorry to tell you, but go look at China. China does it. They organ harvest. They sell this shit on the black market. It's a huge thing there. They don't even hide it, dude. It's a huge thing in China. Huge thing. The black market's disgusting. You can buy babies on that bitch. It's disgusting. It is literally the most lucrative industry.
Okay. I don't know anything about that.
Sorry, but I'm just saying, yeah. That may be some Alex Jones shit, but he was right if he was talking about it.
Well, there's some things he was definitely right
For sure,
about.
but he's
yeah.
crazy. He's wild.
I feel like those people that run shit came to him and is like, you have to go on your platform and say some outlandish shit.
Yeah, it's true, but
to discredit some of the things you say.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're gonna kill your ass. And he goes, okay, Sandy Hook was a hoax. You know, he says some crazy shit, and people were like, we were all like, oh, it discredits him just a little bit.
The reptiles are coming.
So I think he got some things right, and then some things he had to get wrong. Otherwise, they fucking got him.
Absolutely, dude. You don't get huge in that industry without having to kiss some ass. I'm sorry.
But also, one tidbit I want to leave you with too, dude, is that you have to get some of your facts more.
Like I said, if I had shit in front of me, then I would be able to say that. Because then I'm just going everything. Like I said.
Well, I'm saying you got to get that down to the point where it's fucking. Because you're going to war here, dude.
Oh, I know.
That's what you're doing, right? Because when you go online, you know, you're on there and you're fucking going to war with the establishment. You know, more power to you, right? And I just want to set you up so that you don't, you don't get fucked over.
That's why this break from Facebook has been nice. It's been nice. 30 days is nice. Good work.
Oh, so that's just why you're in Facebook jail.
Yeah,
That's
I'm in
why.
Facebook jail. Dude, I am a champion of Facebook jail. I already have like medals and shit. That's how long I've been in. I've been more stints in Facebook jail than actual prison.
I think you got to make evergreen content. So content that that's gonna stay with you. You got to make videos. You got to write articles. You got to do actual stuff. Because a Facebook post ain't worth a shit.
No. That's why I got my selfie stick. I'm gonna start recording my shit on it.
Whatever you do, doesn't matter as long as you just do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you got to get your facts in order, man. You're gonna put so that's the thing. So that's another thing. So last time in the first podcast I did with D, I talked about how posting things online is like a spirit bomb, right? You know, it's like other people send you their energy, you know, and you charge up, and you know that's what you use, right? So basically, I know that sounds weird if you didn't listen to the first one. I didn't explain it very well, but basically, you put something out there, and then somebody else sees it, and they go, "Hey, man, that was cool. What else are you doing?" And then you go, "Oh, okay. Well, I'm doing this," and they're like, "Oh, sweet. Can't wait to see it." And now they're waiting for you to do it, right? And when you post it, then they go, "Yeah," and then you get, "Yeah," and then you get the, you know, the victory, you know, and it's like, and then it's like the fucking, there's momentum behind you.
Yeah.
Right? And so they expect, but also, here's one thing I didn't talk about, is that you are, after that, you are expected to get your shit right. Because people will put you on blast. There will be feedback, right?
They already have. I've had to private message people because I don't need to go look at my page. That's stupid. So I just private message them and say, here's a link, check it out, subscribe.
I'll show you something.
And they're like, oh, okay, awesome. Like, sometimes they'll agree with it, sometimes they don't. Whatever it is, what it is. But I'm not going to blow up my page with just rhetoric and nonsense. So if people want to know, and they private message me, private message me. I'll send you whatever I have. Sometimes it takes me a while because I literally have too much information on my devices to go through in 5 minutes. Like I would have to keep going to find what I need.
Word up. Okay.
So.
Yeah, but I'm saying you got to get your information tight, concise.
Yeah.
Get your talking points here. Learn how to properly formulate an argument. Because motherfuckers, a good person to watch for that is Kevin Samuels, is one. Jordan Peterson is another one. Dudes who are online who are getting a lot of fire. All the red pill dudes, fresh and fit. Watch those guys, because those guys are constantly under the fucking gun, and that seems like what the niche you kind of want for yourself, right? Is that?
Well, it's not a want; it's just where I've been placed.
It's where you've been placed. At. I get it.
No one ever wants to be with someone that is so controversial.
That's true.
Slim Shady didn't want to.
You want to be, but you're more. You feel like you're the lightning rod.
I try to be.
Yeah. Word up. So yeah, get your stuff together. Make some actual content. And you're going to be calling yourself Canadian Grassroots Media?
Yep. And I'm going to be setting up a Patreon hopefully soon, and then we're going to try and get the website established so we can get more media content and start putting all my stuff there. It's going to take some time.
Okay.
I'll get there.
So what social media do you use now? Do you have a Facebook page? Or?
Yeah, just check me out at Justin Lundgren on Facebook. It's right there. They'll be able to see all my content, everything I talk about. If you have any discussions you want to go through, or if you have any questions, just message me and I'll give you what you need. I have information for you, so go from there. Other than that, I'm going to try and set up this grassroots media page and see how it goes. I'm going to be on Parler as well, and see how Parler goes.
Yeah, we got. What was the name of the one you created just now? That's Substack. What the fuck?
Deadpool 86 on Parler.
There we go.
Yeah.
Is that the name you put as?
Yeah, Deadpool 86.
Where does it say?
I don't know.
His profile.
His profile right there, I should say.
That's the bad part about these new platforms is that they're not as easy to use as all the mainstream ones. That's what makes them so mainstream. So yeah, at Deadpool 86 on Parler. So now you got some social media to hook up with people with, right?
Yeah.
Post this podcast on there as soon as I post it.
Yeah.
And then we'll get you some shit started, man. You need some alternative shit to fucking rant on. I like hearing the shit that you got to say, but we've been friends for so fucking long, right?
You know I was going tenders, bro.
Yeah. But I like hearing the shit you got to say, and I know a lot of people who like what you have to say too. It's like, yeah.
No, we started that way back, huh? The bar days.
Yeah, years and years ago.
Looking
Man.
at you
2009 was.
Looking at me like I was some crazy motherfucker. Like, who's this guy? Garrett, why do you know this person?
Yeah. Definitely fucking. Yeah, we can just go into whatever overtime now, right? So you talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Well,
and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fade this out. Because, our conversation will never stop anyways. People will stop fucking. People will stop listening.